This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination. We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Many of you who I've met in person have seen my unbelievable dashboards that I built. You know, I'm an analytics-like crazy person. I love the data, and I love presenting the data in beautiful dashboards that my team can use on their mobile devices, their phones, and TVs throughout the office. Now, the way I do this without having to hire a big development team is at nathanlatka.com/analytics. It's using a company called Clipfolio, and I'll tell you more later on in the show how I use them. It's nathanlatka.com/analytics. Nathan Latka here. Coming up tomorrow morning, you guys are going to learn from Jennifer Reyna. She is from Mexico, and her company is called Gas Zen. They are just starting. They just raised $700,000, and they have a roof meter, which basically tells Mexican households when gas is almost empty, and the way they're growing is unbelievable. Good morning, everybody. Nathan Latka here. Our guest this morning is Gino, and he is the CEO and co-founder of RapidAPI, which he founded when he was 16 years old. He's listed on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and previously he was the co-organizer of Hacking Gen Y. Originally from Israel, Iddo currently resides in San Francisco, California, where he runs RapidAPI and writes JavaScript projects on the side. Iddo, are you ready to take us to the top?
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. All right, so jump in with me here. Tell us what RapidAPI does and what's your business model. How do you generate revenue?
So RapidAPI lets developers find APIs online, test them straight in their browser, and connect to them, generally making the entire API connection process a lot easier. And we also have a marketplace model on top of that, so you can actually pay for those APIs through Rapid, where we make a certain processing fee in the middle.
Got it. And what's that processing fee typically?
It's typically from 10 to 25%.
Okay, just depend. Are you negotiating those kind of one-off with your partners like Slack, Foursquare, Eventbrite?
Yeah, it's dependent on the API vendor.
Okay, and that's it. So it's just a trade. Really, you can almost look at it like a marketplace. You're connecting the vendors with APIs to people that want to connect those APIs. You're taking a cut in the middle.
Yeah, there's, instead of every developer having to talk to every other API vendor and then having to connect independently, you kind of like get a one-point connection to any API in the world.
So take me back here, kind of give us some history. So what year did you launch this business in?
So I was, as you read before in the bio, I was actually part of Hacking Generation Y before that, where we did a bunch of hackathons all over the world and kind of helped teenagers hack and learn about programming. And what we discovered is that A, APIs are really powerful and they can make apps really strong, but B, connecting to them is really difficult. And at that point, we created the first iteration of Rapid, or the first version, which was pretty much a GitHub repository with a bunch of API wrappers. And we started noticing that a lot of people were using those wrappers to connect to APIs, and we got a few thousand stars on GitHub. And at that point, we realized that people need that one-off connection to APIs. And we went on and we built Rapid as it is today.
And who is we?
So it's me and then Mickey Haslavsky, who's my co-founder and runs our dev team back in Israel.
Oh, very cool. And so what's your total team size today?
So we actually just passed 20 people last week, which we're excited about.
Very good. And are you guys based in Israel or San Francisco? Where's the team split up?
So we do all of the engineering back in Israel, and then here in San Francisco, we do marketing, sales, and developer advocacy.
I'm curious, what's the average, what are the economics like in Israel for developer salaries?
I think they started a little lower, but as a lot more tech companies came to Israel, and I think Tel Aviv now is the second largest tech ecosystem in the world after San Francisco, the prices have kind of gone up rapidly.
Got it. So what, 60, 70 for a junior engineer?
Probably around that, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, great. And have you guys raised capital or are you bootstrapped?
So we've actually just announced our seed round this November, which was led by Andreessen Horowitz.
So what'd you raise total?
It was $3.5 million.
Oh, great. And did you do that on a convertible note or equity round?
It was an equity round.
Okay, got it. So did you have any friends and family money in before that, or you just started this from scratch?
So back at the day where it was still just an open source project, and we took it around those hackathons and helped developers connect to APIs, we actually met with Dov Moran, who is an ex-founder. He founded M Systems, an Israeli company, and he put the first money in, which kind of helped us grow Rapid and establish it.
And so if you add the 3.5 that you just did from Andreessen, how much total have you raised?
3.5 is kind of like the total, so it includes that.
Okay.
Previous money we raised.
Okay, got it. And what is so give us an example of how an actual transaction would work. So I'm going in here now, right? I want to develop on Slack's API. Does your little icon in 148,000 mean 148,000 people have used this to connect?
It means 148,000 apps or projects are using that to connect.
And they're using your service to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And so when does money actually get transacted?
So specifically, Slack is a free API where you're not going to pay for it, and then the service is completely free. But other APIs where there is payment, we're slowly aggregating that payment through RapidAPI and do the processing. So RapidAPI, again, as a service, is completely free. For free APIs.
Give me an example of one I'm trying to find one here live. Give me an example of an API that's paid.
An API that is paid. Let me actually open it on my screen.
Okay. Or maybe a better number would just be like transaction volume wise. What are you guys doing per month at this point? I mean, are we talking millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands or 10,000?
Per month, probably in between the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands area.
Got it. So, and that's $10,000 that's developers paying through you guys to get access to some other paid API, and you're taking between about 20% of the 10,000 to up to a couple $100,000 of dollars each month. Is that right?
Yeah, and that fee is taken from the API vendor who's using the platform to distribute the API, so not from the API consumer.
So you don't mark it up at all?
No, so for any API consumer using the platform, it's completely free, and any pricing we do is completely transparent to them.
Got it. Interesting. Why are developers willing to pay for? First off, did you find an example? I'd love to talk about a real example. Did you find an example of a paid one?
Oh, I'll be looking right now.
Okay,
yeah.
I'd be super curious to learn that. I've never seen a paid API. That's one of the reasons I'm curious.
I mean, the most popular paid API is probably Twilio.
Oh, got it. Where they're actually billed 6 cents per text sent or something like that.
Yeah. So, Twilio is one of the largest APIs, period. And they're also one of the most popular paid APIs.
Got it. So just understand this. This isn't, they're not paying a fee just to access the API. You're saying if someone connects to Twilio's API through you, and then they start ramping up usage and volume where they're sending, thousands of texts per month at 6 cents a text to Twilio, you'll take up 20% of the 6 cents every time. Yeah.
So that's how
Got it.
Works.
Okay, now I understand how this scales. This makes total sense. So what's the plan with the platform? How do you grow it? How do you drive more usage?
So RapidAPI is all about enabling developers to connect to APIs. So one thing we do is add more and more APIs to the platform, and we're actually soon going to open the possibility for developers to add APIs themselves as we open source more of the platform, and then we'll just try and advocate this to developers who help people find those APIs either through Google or through GitHub or through other systems and connect them through Rapid.
Got it. Love this. Makes a lot of sense, Iddo. Let me jump in here. Did you have a company before this? Were you was the Hacking Gen Y, was that a business or was that just something you volunteered for?
It's just something I volunteered for and kind of helped develop those hackathons.
So what were you doing before, you turned 16 and launched this?
So before that, I was kind of working at creating apps and websites for certain businesses, kind of learning how to develop and using those skills I was learning to make some money as a teenager.
And how old are you now?
I'm 19 now.
What do your parents think about all this?
I think they're excited by what I do and thing.
Did you skip college?
In college,
they want you to go to college, or they don't care?
I think some part of them does, but they also understand how exciting this is and how interesting building a business is and how much you learn at the process. So I think they get that and acknowledge that as well.
Like I told you guys at the top of this episode, I have amazing data, and you guys know from my interview style, I love data. But what I love more than data is making it actionable via beautiful dashboards that I can view on my phone, on my TVs in my living room, or even on my laptop as I'm traveling. And the company that I use to create these dashboards, which pulls in data from my Libsyn backend, my Google Analytics backend, Salesforce, and other data sources, is called Clipfolio. You can see an example executive dashboard or my social media command center or my web metrics dashboard at nathanlatka.com/analytics. That's nathanlatka.com/analytics. And you can try it there for free for 3 months. It's Clipfolio. You can try it free for 3 months. Everybody else has to pay. So you get it free for 3 months. Alan's a good friend. He's the CEO of the company. He came on the show. I said, I love your product. Can I feature it? So nathanlatka.com/analytics. Go check it out now. Let's jump in now here to the famous 5. These are the last 5 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is definitely The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I've been following Slack Stewart for a while. I think he's done an incredible job building that business.
Stuart Butterfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, besides your own, is there a favorite online tool you have, like Acuity Scheduling?
What was that again?
What's your favorite online tool?
GitHub. I use that daily.
Number 4, yes, or how many hours of sleep do you get on average per night?
6 to 7.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's important. You've got to be productive during the day, so you've got to sleep during the nights.
That's right. And then what's your situation? I assume no kids and single, right?
Yeah, no
so
kids.
Not married. Not married, no kids. Yeah, you're 19 right now. You know, usually I ask for guests to tell me what their 20-year-old self, what they wish they knew. But even back in episode 613, I had a guy named Sahil who's inventing, really putting advertisers into the back of cabs in India, and he's 18. So I'll ask you the same question I asked him, which is, take us back 9 years. What do you wish your 10-year-old self knew?
I wish I knew what I didn't know back then, because I feel like learning or building a business and trying to run a company, there are so many things you have to learn, and the damage you can do by thinking you know them is pretty big. So just knowing what I don't know and trying to learn that earlier on would have probably helped me a lot.
Well, guys, there you have it from Iddo, the CEO and the creator of RapidAPI. He wishes he knew more about what he didn't know back then. Just a more open approach so he could learn faster. Again, launched RapidAPI back in 2006. His team size is now about 20 folks based between Israel and San Francisco. In November 2016, they raised they've raised a total of $3.5 million of capital, now processing on the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of transaction volume per month. And the way they make money and grow is they take 20 to 25% of that transaction volume. Iddo, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much, Nathan.
If you enjoyed Iddo today, go back and listen to Mark yesterday. His company Smartsheet has raised $70 million and just passed $80 million in annual recurring revenue, helping 65,000 customers with project management. It would mean the world to me if you guys got any value from this episode, if you would go leave a review on iTunes right now and then subscribe. You know, I hustle like heck to get these episodes out every freaking day for you guys. And trust me, I love it. I would do it with no listeners, but boy, oh boy, it makes my day and it makes my team's day when we see great reviews and get your feedback. So thanks so much. Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google Ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it, okay? Again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google, right, when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan.